President Milei visits the CPAC conference in Washington. The government removes protections against discrimination, and the provincial governors continue their tit-for-tat war with the federal government. Welcome to A Bloke in Buenos Aires, presenting news and views in English from the capital of Argentina. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. President Milei has been off on another overseas trip this week to attend and speak at the annual CPAC conference. That's the Conservative Political Action Conference in Washington. This is a meeting of right-wing conservative leaders and groups that meets every year and helped to propel Donald Trump to the White House in 2016, something it's hoping to do again. With the upcoming US election, the whole thing has turned into quite a Trumpian roadshow. Amongst those attending and speaking was former UK Prime Minister Liz Truss. Truss is noteworthy as having spent the shortest term in office of any UK PM at just 49 days, and being one of the most disastrous leaders Britain has ever had, when she and her finance minister tried to introduce a budget of massive, uncosted tax cuts which severely damaged the UK economy. Also, there was Nigel Farage, the UK political activist and TV presenter, who led the campaign for Brexit, which led to an overnight devaluation of the pound by 25%, followed by the ongoing destruction of UK small businesses for God knows why. The convicted fraudster and former Trump aide Steve Bannon also gave a speech. Bannon was only able to attend because he received a pardon from Trump on leaving office, otherwise he'd still be in jail. Milei met Trump backstage before their speeches and was warmly welcomed. He seemed a little in awe of the man and suggested that he would make Argentina great again. All in all, an interesting collection of criminals, failures, and yesterday's men and women for President Milei to choose to rub shoulders with, when perhaps a visit to the White House, where the real power lies, might have been a more appropriate first stop. The government have announced the closure of the National Institute Against Discrimination, Xenophobia and Racism, or INADI as it's known. This is just the first of many government organisations which Milei intends to close as part of cutting back on state spending. He claims that such institutes are pointless and only exist to milk the state of tax money and provide jobs for political activists, and that they serve no real purpose. Milei has accused INADI of ideological persecution and trying to govern the way we speak. INADI employs some 400 people across the country and investigates about 2,500 complaints per year. These are mostly about discrimination due to disability or gender or sexual orientation occurring in the workplace or place of education. It also helps complainants obtain legal assistance when necessary. The institute was set up back in the 1990s in the wake of the bombing of the Jewish Community Center in Buenos Aires, and Jewish organizations have criticized the planned closure. INADI's functions and staff will be absorbed into the Justice Ministry. The governor of Chubut province, Ignacio Torres, is the latest to pick a fight with the president. In a letter signed by 5 other provincial governors, Torres has threatened to stop sending oil and gas to the rest of Argentina unless the federal government pays up the 13.5 billion pesos which it owes the province. This appears to be the latest round in a tit-for-tat battle between Milei and the provincial governors. The president blames the fall of his omnibus bill on the lack of support in Congress from the deputies representing the provinces. In what is fast becoming a typical outburst, the president called the governors traitors and enemies of the people, and then cut the transport subsidies to companies in the region. The 15.5 billion pesos being withheld is for spending on education, healthcare and security, and Governor Torres claims that Milei is taking revenge on the people of Chubut for the fall of his bill. Despite Torres' threat to stop oil exports, it's doubtful he actually would or even could, as lack of sales would further hurt his own budget. Milei, in return, has suggested that obstructing movement of energy services breaks the law and could see the governor sent to jail. The statement from the combined governors was titled "The United Provinces of the South." While Torres is a member of the Pro Party, which in theory is working with Milei's La Libertad Avanza, the other governors are from various parties on both the right and the left. Every news report has some kind of bias, and it's often frustratingly difficult to get a balanced view. Ground News is a website and app that gathers all the world's media in one place so you can compare coverage. Ground News lets you see the story behind the story using data-driven analysis that looks at things like the political bias, reliability and ownership of news outlets. To get a 40% discount off a subscription to Ground News, click on the link in the description below. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to see more similar content. And if you want to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee in the link below. And until next time, que tengas un buen día.